Hey dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer-songwriter, musician, and a big fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be confusion? Let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Confusion, track number 7 or track number 1, depending upon how many discs you have or what streaming platform you're on. I will say up front that I believe the second half of the record is kind of where things start falling off. I really feel like they put their best of the best up front, but maybe we'll see some surprises because, again, we're not grading this only on emotional response. We're listening analytically. We're stopping anytime I hear something interesting. We're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to grade it using the following criteria. Composition, memorability, emotional response, instrumentation, and lyrics. Each category is a 0 to 4 scale with a grand total of 20 possible points. We'll find out at the end of the video if this has what it takes to get to the top 20. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Why? Because if you hit that subscribe, you'll never be confused again. And that's a pretty nice, handy skill to have, to not be confused. I think that's pretty handy. Let's listen to the song. Important distinction to make, this is not Am I Evil? This is an original song. It's a completely different song. But it seems like each song on this record so far has had sort of like a 2 attached to it. We had The Memory Remains 2, was Moth into Flames. We had the Outlaw Torn 2. This one feels like Am I Evil 2. They're all kind of calling back to something. Kind of interesting, but just figured I'd point it out. It's not Am I Evil? I think there's a video somewhere of Lars getting confused. They were like practicing in the tuning room and he was playing the wrong riff because it's that close, but I think that's funny. So, I don't know, in my opinion, the transition is kind of, it's there, you know, it was a cool march in the beginning. It'd be almost, I think I would prefer like a holdout note. Maybe that's because I'm still thinking of Am I Evil? I want him to hold it out and then but I don't know, there's something in it feels like a different song to me, and so I'd like a little bit of a different separation between the riffs. I don't know why. There's just something off about that transition to me. It's not terrible. They have worse, but I'm just saying there's something weird about it to me, and I can't really put my finger on what that is. But I'm happy to be in a new section, but I think that there's probably a better way in there to bridge those two together. Emphasizing 4. I think that's one of my favorite parts of the song is when we call back to that riff, da 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 do, and we go into halftime, boom, boom, ka, boom, ka, and then we have the guitars holding those high, just this open note, and they sort of bend the neck or use a whammy bar. There's a cool effect happening there. We also have an interesting transition into the verse. There might be a time signature change. I'm not 100% certain, but I always feel like there's a weird, like it starts on the next beat and it feels sort of unexpected. So I'm going to try to count along. Why don't you try to count along at home too?
Grab this life and walk away. War is never
I guess it's straight. I don't know. There's just something about that beat. Boo, 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 ka, boom, ka. It always kind of feels like it's not. I don't know. It depends if you're counting it a different way. If you're going 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and if that's your count, then yes, there's an odd measure in there. But if you're counting the speed I was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, then it felt pretty straight to me. I didn't think I felt anything different. And when I counted it out loud, it felt fine. But when I'm not counting, I'm like, oh, boom, 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 ka, boom, ka. But it's just, I guess they just sing on the second half. So it must be something where the guitars are setting up, ba, ba, ba. Singing is the tag, ba, 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 ba. Here's another tag on the end, ba, ba, ba. That's kind of what I'm getting out of this. I would assume, typically speaking, you get like the verse lyrics first and then the tag afterwards, but they've inverted it. So that's cool. I think that's a very Justice style transition. I know that they're just playing kind of what the chorus is singing, what the vocals are singing in the chorus, or maybe they wrote this first and the chorus vocals were determined based off of that. But I don't know. That, again, feels like a transition for another song, right? I don't hate it. I want to be clear. I am a Metallica fan. I said so in the intro, and I mean that. I am not at all gonna tell you that I'm better than Metallica or that my songs are better than Metallica's songs. Never in the world would I ever claim something like that. What I'm doing is analyzing based off of the criteria I announced from the beginning. And flow is really important to me as a drummer. And so I'm trying to pick apart this and see if it works. And when I feel a flow that kind of like, I don't know, it kind of veered in a direction, like maybe it was a direction I didn't expect, but sometimes when you go there's the direction we didn't expect in the way that like Avengers does, and the directions we didn't expect that The Last Jedi does. And one of them is really excellent, and one of them really needs to be remade. I'm just saying, sometimes what they didn't expect is a bad choice. And I'm not saying, again, that this song is making bad choices. I'm just saying the flow feels a little odd to me. It feels like a few different... This is the first... Maybe it's not the first, but I don't know. This was maybe the first one on this record that feels Frankensteined. I could be wrong. I've already forgotten the first 6 songs, so here we are. I'm questioning... I don't know what I put on those videos, but here I feel the Frankensteining, and that's kind of a bummer. But again, I still like the band. I still like the song. I'm just ripping it apart because I'm a guy with opinions. What do I do? So this song is filled with great riffs. I mean, like I said, I don't really have a problem with much of it. Like each individual riff, if you just played this riff and then you waited a couple days and then you played the next riff for me, I'd be like, yeah, those are both really great riffs. But side by side, there's just something odd to me about the way it's confusing. The way it's put together is confusing. What is that? I don't know. You know what's weird is I don't think I've ever noticed that Kirk is soloing over this verse. Usually, and I mean, this goes for most of their catalog, usually they get to the second verse, and structurally speaking, it's a copy paste of the first verse. Sometimes it's half as long, but almost always the instruments are pretty much the same. Maybe the drum fill will be different, but most of it is usually the same. So it's kind of refreshing to get a little solo over that second verse. I know this isn't the first time they've done that, but I'm just saying it is unique when you take 108 songs and only, a handful of them do this. That makes it unique. So it makes it stand out. So good job, Kirk, building the song.
Make it go away. Please make it go away.
There's a really high vocal way. I like it. Imagine if he just went, if they were confusion and just went into the next riff instead of having the bridging section, because we're going to go into this like they climb up and there's this whole, like, I don't know, 4 times through or whatever before he starts singing. Imagine if he just went right into it. I feel like that would feel a little bit better. Maybe I'm confused. Pun intended, but I don't know. It just feels like something, this feels extra to me. I can hear the echo in his voice, the reverb and the delay. There's not maybe as much delay, but there's definitely a hanging reverb after he finishes. Confusion. It kind of echoes out a little bit. I can hear a little bit of that in there. So it's nice. That's nice. No comment.
All sanity is but a memory.
Okay, so I do have to talk about that riff. That part, I tried to emulate in one of my own songs. The song is called The Lone Wolf. It's track number 2 from my latest record, Somewhere in Dreamworld. Somewhere in Dreamworld is available wherever you get your music online. And I tried at the very end to do a very similar feel, and I couldn't get it right. I tried to basically copy paste, and it just didn't feel right for my song. And so I really sat at it for a long time. I tried to time it out differently to give it a different tempo. I screwed with different time signatures, and I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And really the reason was because I was writing a different song, and that's all right. That's perfectly fine. There was something about when you get from when you go from the hits to the kick drum, bum, 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 at the end of it, it just wasn't feeling natural enough. So I ended up doing a ba 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 ga ba 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 ba-ba-doom, ba-ba-ba-doom, ba-ga-ba-ga-ba-ba-boom. But it's a direct rip-off of the song. So again, like I said, I do love Metallica. I might be ripping the song apart, but it's not because I hate it. It's because I like to analyze things. There's a difference. This section always confused me a little bit. I keep saying that word, but it's all James, and all Kirk is doing, and Kirk and Rob as well, is just burn up. They're just waiting, and Lars is just hitting. He's not even really hitting the kick drum either. It's kind of a throwback to what was it? Kill, kill, kill. All within my hands. Bang, 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 bang. He's just hitting the snare drum and the hi-hat. And James is doing all this work, and then these other two are just like, what should we do? I don't know. Kind of a weird choice to me. Okay, again, like I've been saying, the lead guitar is setting up patterns and breaking them. It starts with a blah-da-da-da, and then something that climbs down, and then it comes back to blah-da-da-da, and it goes up, and then it repeats blah-da-da-da, goes back down, blah-da-da-da, and then goes up in a different way. So again, it's got a 1, it's got a 2, it's got a 1 repeat, and it's got a 3. That's structure, man. It's structure. Songwriting 101. We got 3 plus 1s. We got alternate endings. We got setting patterns and breaking them. It's all here. It's all here. I don't know why I don't like that riff. What is it about that riff? Can somebody tell me? Do you like this riff? I mean, there's something about it for some reason. It doesn't fit. I don't know. It does fit, but it doesn't. It feels off to me. I can't really describe what it is. It's fine on its own, but just there's something. I feel like what I'm getting is that we have a very, this song is really built around the idea of war and marching and soldiers. And it's not just about that. That's surface level. But underneath that, it's like the struggle and the battle of life. And we're really illustrating that march into battle. Feels a lot like much of their Justice songs. So I like that. But then we get to this, and it doesn't feel like it has that same boots on the ground sort of feel, you know? It doesn't feel like, it feels like we're somewhere else now. It's like we were on the ground and now we're, I don't know, it's a slop time or whatever. I don't know, I don't even know what that means. I'm just saying, it feels odd to me and I can't explain why. Oh well. So we got the third chorus with a different ending. I do like when that happens. So bonus points for that, I guess. Ooh, that's dirty. Interesting. Did you hear that? I'm going to do that one more time. Listen to the very last note, what Lars is playing. It's not a crash cymbal. Very interesting choice. He chose to end it on the hi-hat. Psst. And I think he even closed it. Psst. Interesting choice to end the song. I'm not opposed to it. I don't have any problem with it whatsoever. I just think it's different than what they would typically do. So, I don't know. The song is all right. I mean, coming off of the top 20 number 1, it's hard to, the bar is high. So, let's give this guy some points. Here we go. Whoosh. Composition is fine. Very similar to all of their other songs. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. We have a march beat, fairly throughout the song, I guess. We have some changes. We have some beats that come in a little earlier than expected. It's fine, but it doesn't really stand out as anything interesting to me. I don't know. It's basic. If baseline is 2, it feels baseline to me. I think I can give them points for some of those change ups. There are some really cool sections of the song, but overall, there's not really a whole lot to talk about here. So compositionally, I don't know. I feel positive today, so I'll give them a 3. Memorability. Again, I don't really know where I sit on this one. I think that the chorus is short enough that you could learn it quickly. I think that the verses maybe have more words that you would have to listen to a couple times before you catch on. It's really missing that hook. I guess My Life, the War That Never Ends is kind of meant to be the hook of the song, but they don't have that full stop. They don't really call attention to it. There's not like an accented hit or anything. And it's fine. It's a good enough hook. It just isn't emphasized the way that some of it's not so easy as, Halo on Fire, Seek and Destroy. It just doesn't have that punch that they typically have. So from a memorability standpoint, I don't know if this sticks. I don't know. You're going to have to tell me. Does it stick for you? Because for me, it's just right in the middle. Memorability, 2. Emotional response. I'm just not super feeling the song. I don't really have a place for it. I was surprised when they played this at S&M 2. I know it's in their newer album, so they're kind of playing from the newer catalog, but it just... I don't know. The song isn't sitting. I don't know what it is. I don't have anything against it. I don't want it to be bad, but just... And I'm not calling it bad either. I'm just saying it's not sitting well. I don't know why. It's right in the middle for me. Right in the middle. Emotional response, 2. Instrumentation. I don't know. They're playing fine. Again, I don't know what it is about this song, but I don't have words. Is that weird? All of my videos are typically 30 minutes long, and today I just can't find anything to say. So, I don't know. They did fine. 3. Lyrics. I like that this song isn't specifically about soldiers. It's not specifically about war. I mentioned that earlier, that it's not, it does have those themes, marching and battle on and coming home from war. I think that's the line we got to highlight, coming home from war. But war is a metaphor for just the problems in life, whether it's a past trauma, whether it's an addiction. Rub the patch and battle on, right? You've been patched up. That could be a nicotine patch. You've quit some sort of drug or alcohol maybe, and you're trying to move on, but it keeps coming back to haunt you, and every time you try to, you're trying to go to bed and that's all you think about, and it keeps trying to come back, and you have to fight to stay sober, and it's a very difficult battle. And we know that it wasn't successful the first time around for James. We know that he struggled with it. He maybe got away from it for a little while. We went into rehab during St. Anger. We know that he went back into rehab right after S&M 2. So that struggle was obviously still apparent while they're making Hardwired to Self-Destruct. So I think these lyrics are touching on a very important subject. I do have to knock it a little bit because the very last chorus, trapped in this memory forever, it feels... I don't know. I almost would have preferred the chorus to just be the same as the other two, because there's something hokey about that to me. I don't know why. The line is fine, but there's something about that delivery, that trapped in this memory forever. It feels fake, and maybe it's the note choice, maybe it's the placement in the song. Maybe it's just the mood I'm in. I don't know. But for some reason, trapped in this memory forever, it feels like a newbie writer. And I know that James can write better. So we'll knock him 1 just for that. But otherwise, it's a fine enough song. Lyrically, 3. And so Confusion gets a grand total of 13 points. It's not enough to make the top 20. It is in 66th place out of 109 so far. So... oh well, let's take a look at that top list, shall we? Yesterday, we got a new addition to this. Halo on Fire is at the top, tied with 1. And on the chopping block is Ride the Lightning. Pretty good top 20. There are some ties in here, and there are plenty of ties beyond this as well. We'll cover them all later. I plan to do a video where I cover all of the stats. I'll give you the whole breakdown in order, what song got what point and what place it's in, and yada, yada, yada. I'll cover all that at the end of this journey, but for now, that's where we are. So now it's your turn. In the comments below, tell me what score you would give this song, add up the points, use my method. I'd love to know what you think. Also, suggest an artist or a band that's maybe not metal. I'd like to try something else after this journey has concluded. Just just to try it, just try it out. We're open-minded here. We're kind. We like exploring music, not just metal. We're open-minded. And hey, check out with your open mind my music. Midnight Notion is available all over the internet, wherever you get it. I would love to know what you think of my songs as well. And of course, smash that subscribe button, because tomorrow we're all going to be kind. Even though the song isn't, we are, because we're just awesome like that. You know what? You're awesome. Thanks for watching. See you then.